Today, this video, we are going to go over the Faro data processing steps. As you can see on my screen here, we have an SOP created. And this goes through step by step of everything you need to do in order to get your scans ready to be imported into the indoor viewer. And we're going to go over everything up to the point of creating your bundled E57s. There's a separate video for bringing the scans into the indoor viewer, but we were going to get you to the point of having your scans registered and extracted into E57s. So the first step is you got to download your daily Faro scans and unzip them. So we're going to go to our Google Drive, which is a shared drive. For this example, we're going to use something from OM6. We're going to go to our 3D laser scans, daily raw scans. We're processing just the Faro scans, and we're going to take this folder. Inside of this folder is all the zip files with the daily scans from 6/18. So we're going to download this to our desktop. It's going to take a minute to zip. Okay, we're just going to zip this. It's going to take a little while for this folder to zip and then download, and we will wait for that. Now we have the download started after they had decided they were going to zip. We'll let this process continue until it's all done. Now we have these out. I'm going to go ahead and put them in this training folder here. And we're going to extract these files. All right, to make it easy on myself, we'll bring all these zip files back into one folder. Okay. Now we've got all that. I'm going to get rid of these files because I don't need them here. I'm going to get rid of these folders because I do not need them. You don't have to do this, but I'm doing it because that's my preference. You have to unzip them one at a time. I'm not sure why this keeps going to my other desktop. This process is tedious, but it's necessary. I need to get a batch extractor. That would make this a lot easier. I'm sure someone in the company has one. Okay, we should have them all extracted. Let's verify. We can hold shift, select them all. We got 29 items selected, so that means we should have 29 folders here. We got 29 folders. That means we have them all. All right, inside of each one of these is an FLS file. Some of them, as I've seen in the past, I like to open them up and verify that there's an FLS in it. Sometimes there will be a file that is not structured the way we are expecting to see it here. It'll just have these files mixed in with this. So I'll verify that that's not the case. Quick process. I'm just using the keyboard to flip through and look at them. And yeah, all good so far. I'm not sure what makes them not have the file structure. Like, here's one right here. So this is scan 428. We need to make a folder for this. We're going to copy the same exact naming structure that you see with these other scans. So this is scan 428.fls. Oh yeah, okay. So we got to put this scan in here before we can name it that. Scan 428.fls. Oops, I deleted it. All right, boom, there that is. So that's why we go through and look at these. Here's another one. This is going to be scan 436. I'm going to just copy this so I don't have to type it in again. Copied. And I'll paste it in. There we go. All right. There's another. Not sure why they do this, but this is why we come through. Scan 446. This is scan 449. This one's only got one scan in it. We really don't need to put it in the folder, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep this going. Just going to verify up scan 451. Okay. That's good. Oh, dang it. Well, now I got to find out where we left off. 451. There it is. I don't really need to do this for these individual scans, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Oh my God. Scan 452. All right. This one was 53. Verify. Okay. $455. FLS. Verify we got the name right. We did. Let's keep going. Oops. Didn't name it right. Verify. 456. Okay. This one's not going to have it either because it's a single scan. Like I said, the single scans, you don't really need to put them in this folder, but I just like everything to be going the same way. So if it's going to be done one way, I'm going to keep doing it that way. 458, let's verify, 458, okay. This one's going to be the same thing, 459. Verify, all right. Oh, now we're back in the zip folders. Okay. I'm going to delete these because they are on the server and I do not need them here taking up my disk space. So there's all my scan data. I have it extracted and registered, or I have it extracted and ready. Unzip them. Okay. Now we can speed up things by placing all of those FLS folders that you've seen into individual, or all into one folder, which I think that is what we're going to do. It does speed things up a lot, makes things a lot faster. So I'm going to open a new window and I'm just go right back. So from here, I'm going to come into each folder and drag and drop them out here. The folder, we're going to call them Faro scans. You can name it whatever you want to. And this will save us a lot of time during import, because when you bring these files into Realworks, they make you select them individually per folder. So as you can imagine, we'd have to individually import every folder here. But instead, we're going to put them all in one folder, and it's going to import all these scans at the same time. It's going to drastically speed up your time for data processing. But if you wanted to go about it the other way and not do this, you would just have to individually open each folder and register them that way. Okay, we went through and we've got all the files now into one folder. 87 scans they performed on this day, 6/18. All right, and we've done this. Step two, we're going to import into Realworks. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Realworks. I've got it opening, it's on another screen. I will move it over as soon as it pops up. All right, this is the screen that you see straight coming into Realworks. Here it tells us if it's a new project, we're going to create a new project. We're just going to go ahead and import these scans in. If this is an existing project, you can open up an existing project either here or in File, Open. And then you would locate where your existing scan files are. I got mine on a storage drive here on my PC through the merge project. If this was going to be added into another scan day, scan set project file, we would simply open here and then we would import in our new scans. For this scenario, we're going to import in the FLS files as a new project. So you come in, import FLS files. We're going to ask you to locate your files. Mine is on my desktop. It's in a 6/18 folder. No, it's not. It's in training Faro scans. All right. I'm going to Control A. Shift click all of my scans. I'm going to import in these scans. It's telling me I need to save this as a project. So we're going to name it. We're going to name this the date 2021-06-18. I'm going to name it training so I don't get confused and want to upload these files later. Save your file. So you can see down here it's processing, it's finding where these files are, and then it's going to start the import process. This window pops up asking me what I want to import from these Faro scans. We just want these first 3 clicks. Do not import as a full dome scan. It imports too much trash, and you don't need to worry about this luminance option. That's just for point cloud colorization. If there is an issue, we can fix that later, but I haven't really had to do too much of that. So we're going to hit OK. Down here in the bottom left-hand side, you have a progress bar. It's going to be converting all of these files. We have 89 scans to process. It shouldn't take too long, depending on the speed of your machine. As you can see here, Trimble Realworks is using a lot of my CPU and memory. I've only got 32 gigs on this machine. It can take up this whole lot of memory, but it hasn't so far. It does require a lot of heavy CPU usage. We should have more powerful machines to do this in the future, but for now, this will work. Okay, I had to stop what I was doing here and go on some meetings and do some other tasks. But this import process stopped almost exactly at 1 p.m. So now we're back in it. So we've opened it, we've completed step 2, we've imported these in, we've saved our file, our project. Here's our import procedure. Now that we have these scans imported into Realworks, we need to go to step 3, sample our scans. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to select our entire project here. If I don't have it selected, you cannot create the sample scans, it's grayed out. So now that I have the entire project selected, which selects everything here in this window, we're going to create sample scans. We're going to sample by step of 1, and we're going to filter by range of 30 meters. That way we keep out all the trash that we don't need, and we have a good looking point cloud. You can see our estimated points is 1.4 billion points. We're going to hit OK. Down in the left-hand progress bar, you see it processing our scans. And then we just wait. Once they're processed, we'll see it come up on the screen. Okay, we are coming up to the end of our data sampling here, and we should be able to see our point cloud just as soon as it's done. And it's not showing up. Let's wait. Sometimes if this happens, you may have to right-click on your project. You have to right-click on your project and show or display cloud. If that doesn't work, you can zoom to the object, and here it is. Here's our point cloud, all cyclone together. We need to save our project if it hasn't already been saved. And the next step to this process is going to be cloud-to-cloud registration, as you can see in our how-to SOP. So we need to select our project cloud. If we do not have it selected, we cannot use the Create Sampled Scans option. It will give you everything there in this drop down here, everything in this bottom window. You can either highlight it or you can just select the project. We're going to go into registration, cloud-to-cloud registration. Okay, if we don't have the project selected, it will be grayed out if there's no point clouds. So make sure you have your project with the point clouds you want to register and click cloud-to-cloud registration. It'll take us into another window. We'll see 3 screens. There's going to be a top left, which is our moving cloud. Top right, which is our reference, or our moving cloud, sorry. The red screen is the moving cloud, the green screen is the reference cloud. That's all backwards. Alright, so what we're doing here is we're going to look for like points, and we're going to select 1, 2, or 3 points. You can select up to 3 points. Usually we just need 1. Some of the more tricky scans or more off-level scans will require 2 or 3 points to pick. Here we're just going to pick 1 and see what happens. Down in this bottom window, it will show you how the registration came together based on the points you have picked. This one looks like it came together pretty well. You can see what I'm doing is I'm scrolling down to find these blue scans. These blue scans are our leveled scans. We've only got 2 in this entire bundle. We always want to start with a leveled scan. It just helps the registration go together better once you're adding more days to these scans. You don't want to register everything to a scan that's way off level, and you won't know until the end. But for the most part, Realworks does a good job at trying to level these scans out for you, unless you're putting a coordinate system on it, which you can do. So here I'm starting with a leveled scan for my first reference. looking around for points. This red fire hydrant box or fire extinguisher box looks pretty good. It's prominent. We're going to pick that. Here it's come together pretty well. No, it hasn't. So I picked the wrong point. You see that? See my number 1 point? Sometimes that'll happen if you have a thin layer of points on something. I like to put whatever I'm picking on the gray area in the back. That way I'm sure that I'm only picking those points and nothing behind it. So as you can see, I moved it to make sure I'm still picking that point. It doesn't have to be exact what you're picking, but it needs to be close. Now that's a much better registration right there. So we're going to go ahead and refine and apply that. So here in this drop down you have do not add merge with group, add to reference, and something else. If we do not want to group it, it's because we're just fixing a current registration. For the most part, we're going to add to reference, not merge with reference. Merging will bring two clouds together. We don't really need to do that. But once you add one to the reference, now you have a bigger point cloud. Both of those point clouds are now put together as one. They're still individual files, but in registration inside of Realworks, it is now one whole registered point cloud that we can link every other point cloud to it. It makes it a lot easier, especially once you have more point clouds registered together. So we're going to go through and do this entire thing, every scan from 618, and we're just going to continue to pick points. Pretty tedious process, but it's quite easy. Just pick some common points. I'm going to fast forward some of this and come to talking points whenever I run into a snag or an issue, but all you got to do is keep picking like points. Don't forget to refine your registration. Don't forget to save. You cannot save in this mode. If you are getting to a stopping point or you have something else to do, you can always close out of this program just by hitting the close button, and then you want to hit save before you exit out. Seems like this red box is really doing well for us. We're going to just keep picking it, and that's what I like to do. I'll find something similar in a lot of scans and I'll just pick that one spot. But this is all up to y'all, however y'all want to register. I'm showing you the ways I do it. Everyone will have a different way, a different method, something that works a little better for them. Whew. Bless me. So this one doesn't seem like it's coming together too hot. I think it's because this is a leveled scan. But here's an issue that I can see already from the bottom red and green registration, is that it might not be perfectly level, and the scanner thought it was. You can see how off it is on the rack. try to refine it. Sometimes it fixes it, sometimes it doesn't. Sure, it's taking a while. It's thinking about it, and it didn't do what we wanted it to. Try to pick a few points on the floor. Maybe it'll think to level out this plane. I like picking these red dots on the grading. They work pretty well. I like picking corners of things as well. Like I said before, put it in the gray and then pick a corner, pick a point that you want. That way you're not picking anything behind it. And the registration's still off. That's because this is a leveled scan. We're going to have to force unlevel this in order to get it to do what we want it to. Because once it's a leveled scan, Realworks won't level it out. It won't adjust the XY. And we'll do that a little bit later. Let's put a few more scans together. Hopefully it can link up to additional points. That scan was a little bit further away than what we really needed. You can see right there, I just counted the turns and folds in that metal right there. Because if you do pick a point that's way far off, it will affect your registration. Not bad. Refine and apply to reference. For this one, we're going to pick a point on the opposite side because I can both see that. And these pipes right here are perfect for adding this point in. It's on a different level, it's a little bit lower. We don't have exact coverage, but we do have like points around it. We're going to pick another one. It wasn't exactly as tight as we liked it. And that looks a lot better. Let's see how it comes out. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. refine and add to reference. This one's pretty simple. We're just going to pick the cylinder right here because you can see it both in the same scan. Back to Old Faithful, fire extinguisher box. And now we're back to Mr. Level Scan, Not So Level Scan. We'll try to add him back in there, see if he clicks up this time. If not, we will go ahead and force unlevel him. That way it will be registered. Now I can already tell it's not. Let's view the visual registration. Now, because it's blue, we're going to come down, we're going to select just that scan. Here's an option for station leveling. Right here. We're going to click this, force unlevel. And once we do this, we can now get this into a better registration. I'm going to unclick it and then go back to it so that it's refreshed in the registration menu. It's still blue here, but it's yellow over in the project folder. So now just do exactly what you did before, pick another point, and Realworks will do all the work for you. As you can see, it came together a lot better this time just from force unleveling it. So that came together really well just from unleveling this scan. You can even level it again. You can tell it to force level back to where it should be. And that's just to lock something in place if we wanted to go that route. But let's refine and apply to reference. Here we've come into a small little issue with this guy. He doesn't want to come in correctly. As you can see, the visuals on my screen of red and green. It's supposed to be over there, but it's not. It's tilted and twisted. You would think with a unleveled scan like we have, it would automatically be put in place. But sometimes when these scans are far enough away that they don't have something to reference off of, and you don't have enough scans already linked in, it will not come in as you want it to. As you can see on the screen, I'm trying to get it to link up, but I will be unsuccessful later on in the video. We put this scan on the back burner, and it comes back in with just one click of a point, and that's because we came across some scans that would link it better. So sometimes when you're battling a scan, it's best just to put it on the back end, because later on you might have more coverage, better coverage to suit that scan's need, and it will come back into play later on in the game. Alright, what we're looking at now is I've got a scan in a different area than what we are actually currently putting together. It's just slightly in a different area, but enough to where I can't register it together. So we're going to pick another scan in sequential number around that so that we can start putting together a second registration inside of these daily scans. So as you can see, I found two like scans in the same area, and we're going to register those together. It will create a second registered set in your project folder, and whenever you have enough of these scans or all those scans in that area that you can put together, we will then register our registered sets together. As you'll see in just a few minutes, or in just a few seconds, we will be creating a second registered set. Currently I'm looking for the point cloud. That's weird. This came together nicely. So as you might have noticed, I have now two registered sets here. These are both two different references. I've created a second one because the scans started linking to an area right outside of where our first registration area was linking. Um, we were first linking up here, and now we're linking on this completely other side. So I'm gonna put this side together so that we can merge both of these sides together in one, and we will get to that later. For now, I'm gonna keep registering. scans like these that are hard to place, they are in really tight spaces. There's not a whole lot to go off of. Just gotta try to find where the heck this thing was placed. Try to find something similar, but it's tough at times. Especially when nothing is the same. So what I'm doing is I'm going in order. Here's 456, here's 455. I'm hoping that these scans are placed next to each other like they should be, and we'll be able to locate where they scanned it. But as I'm finding that, that is not always the key. Not always the case. Well, this is a familiar scene. We'll go back to 455. I remember this yellow box. Maybe it was 456. So in this instance, I'm going to pick this bolt here. Hopefully these come together. Maybe we'll get a better picture of what we're looking at. Let's pick another spot. And things up. This one is appearing. It's going to require 3 spots. Get this one. This would be so much easier if there was actual overlap in these scans. All right, well, there we go. We actually got it this time. In instances like this, picking points really matters. We're going to refine this and we're going to create a reference cloud. That way we can start putting more of this area together. All right, so now that we've got more of these points put together, it's actually starting to come together quicker with these scans that there is no coverage for. And that's the best part about Realworks. Once you put one together, you got two together, you start seeing the bigger picture that was hidden with just one scan. It can be frustrating at times, but just keep skipping through scans until you find a spot that you recognize, and then link them together. Okay, so I almost did a boo-boo here. Here's my registered cloud, my first registered cloud, and I almost moved my registered cloud to my registered for cloud. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my registered cloud as the original reference and link everything to that. My original cloud is never going to be my moving cloud. Okay, so now I've started running into issues with unlevel scans not wanting to link up. So I'm going to go ahead and merge my registered scans together so that I can bring this home. On these larger scans that we're putting together, it's okay to have over 5 millimeters. I try to stay away from a 10. But the reason I say it's okay to go above 5 is because, as you can see, we don't have a whole lot of coverage overlap for it. So there's a lot of, I guess, points that aren't exactly lined up because they're so far away, and that is understandable. We're gonna refine these. We're adding registered to registered. This scan's a problem child, scan 172. This one must have been so far off alignment. But I'm a stickler for perfection. 7.85 is still way better than what we're going to get manually aligning this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply on it. That's just how we're going to go about that one. I've been told as high as you noticed I typed in 1,000 down here. This is going to load more points into the viewer so that we can see more of what we're trying to work with. It'll give us a better point cloud. You can see this one has really thickened up or filled in, if you would. You can go up to 2,000, and that's, I believe, is the max, which is 2 billion points. Okay, now we're back in it. Let's go ahead and start clicking again. So as you can see on this one, that's clearly not right. It's giving me a 4.35 accuracy. I can tell you that this belongs over there. So let's repick some points. Whatever's going on in this tower is certainly not good. If it doesn't like that, then you know that there's something wrong with this skin. Okay, it took that. That's a good one. We're going to refine and we're going to apply to the reference. All right, so I've been having trouble with this scan 160 or 190. I'm gonna try to get 191. Maybe there's a few of them I can link up to this, so then it'll link up better to the giant bundle. And let's see, what do we get? All right, so we're in the same area. Here's this, here's that. Here's a red bolt. Yeah, get it. 1.78. Dang, look at that. All right, did it link up good? Sure did. Yeah, are we happy with it? Sometimes they're tricky. This one looks like it registered good. We're going to add that to a reference. Just like all the other ones, if you get one that you're stuck, try to find one that it links to. Add a few to it. That way, it'll be easier to link up to a larger bundle or just link up in general. Nice. All right, refine, add to reference. As you can see there, it was at 10, and just picking that extra point brought it down to 2 millimeters difference. 1's good, 2's better, 3 is sometimes messy. So in this scan, the moving cloud is the green cloud. You can see this. It has put some trash hovering in the air. And this is normal, especially when there's moisture in the air or a reflective surface. Sometimes that just happens, and you can clean it out, but it's just part of an error that you're going to see. And we're back to that problem child scan 203 that we weren't going to place earlier. I got it to pick with one pick here on this registration that we're doing. You can see how much trash came in this scan. It's a circular trash pile, just junk that is now in our registration. You can see it must have been pretty wet or moisture or something up there, because it gave us a lot of trash that it doesn't belong. This scan probably should have been rescanned. What is that? That's just nothing. There may have been water along everything up here. I mean, it was inside of this cage here. So if there was any water on these bars, say moisture, condensation, humidity, it's pushing out all that trash. That's why I said place these bad scans towards the end, because you might still be able to place it easily, like I did with one pick. I'm gonna refine it. I'm gonna add this for reference. All right, we got this other trouble child link up too. This one took 2 picks, but we got it to come in as it was supposed to. We were having a real hard time with this one earlier. I'm glad we skipped it and it worked out this time around. All right, we're adding that to the reference. Now I'm going to bundle all of these registered references together. That way we can try to get these last 2 scans in. Those are those 2 scans that are covered in parts, and we will do our best to get those in there. So here's our registered to our registered 2. It's good. Refine and apply. All right. Very good. Like reference. Now we have our entire day put together. This is the entire day scan data, except for 2 scans, as you can see here. We are going to now try to put those scans in. It's going to be tough, but we will work through it. Now that we have more data, it should be easier to link it up. That's actually not too bad. All right, we're gonna run with that. 6 is better than nothing. Now we've got one last scan to link up, and then we have finalized the registration. All right, we got a 5 here. Let's go find that 5. Because we've been doing this for so long, I know that that 5 is right over here. Okay, I'm gonna pick in between the 5 and the 1. Or not. I guess it's gonna pick the 5. It should be this box right there. $7.5. That's pretty good. Where did it go? Oh, it's definitely not in the right spot. That box belongs there. We'll try to get another one. I have a feeling we're gonna have to manually place this guy, just due to the fact that there's really nothing for it to look at. Perhaps you can get something off of there. Let's see what it does. Scans like this shouldn't be normal. Well, it's close. All right, so we're going to use this button here, interactive rotation. We're going to pick a spot, use any spot, and we're going to rotate this thing to normal, or as normal as we can get it. Oops. Let's move it up and over. We're going to rotate it again. Move it. All right. That's not too bad. I'm not going to refine this because I know that if I do, it will just blow what I have just done out the way. So we're going to apply that to the reference. That is where it will live. It's manually placed, but we won't have to move it again now that we have a 100% registered point cloud. Once it's done, you will have no more moving clouds. We're going to hit close. The first step we need to do after we close our registration is to save our work. Any day now. About time for a break. I've been doing this for almost 11 hours. My computer is running slow today. I'm not sure what's going on. All right, so now it's finished. First thing we're going to do is we're going to save. Now my project is saved. You can see everything that we have put together today. Here's our registered point cloud. Inside of our project folder, there's that. When you have multiple days in here, it will get confusing because everything's going to say registered, registered, scan, blank, blank, blank. Okay, so you need to rename this group. And sometimes it takes a bunch of clicks. I'm not exactly sure why it does this. And this is 2021-06-18. It is very important that you name your folders so that you know what day this is that you have worked on, because if we are doing 6/19 tomorrow, we need to be able to separate these days out. Now that we have 6/18 completed, we want to export, convert TZF scan and selected stations. Before we do this, you need to make sure that you have only selected what you want to export, and we export per day. So click your date, go to export, convert E57s. It's all automatically going to put it into my Faro scan data folder. I'm going to make a new folder and call it registered, or call it today's date, 2021-06-18. I'm going to call it registered. That way I don't get it confused with another data set later down the road. You must be inside the folder and hit save. If I'm right here, I have it selected and hit save, it's going to save inside this folder. Make sure you're inside the folder you want to save it to. E57s and convert. Depending on the speed of your computer, this won't take that long. That is the end of this video. To learn how to bundle your newly created E57s and get them prepared for recap, you need to go to step 7, recap bundle, and there is a video here that will teach you how to bundle these E57s you just created today and to get them ready to go into recap. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.